Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Danny Phantom Vlogs Revisit. This is it. We are at the final episode of the show. The finale of Danny Phantom, the TV movie Phantom Planet. And yes, it is considered a TV movie. When it first aired, it was advertised as a TV movie. Same thing goes with Rainstorm, Ultimate Enemy, and Reality Trip. All of them were advertised as being TV movies, so that's why I have them listed as movies in this whole vlog series. So, this one is very controversial. A lot of people think that this is not a good way to end the show. I'm not one of those people. I love this ending. Like, legitimately, I do love this ending. um, like, no joke, this, of the four films, of the four TV movies, this one is kind of my favorite. This one is kind of my favorite of the four TV movies. And I love all four TV films. I think they're the best. They're the best that the entire show has to offer. The four TV movies and the Urban Jungle special. I think those are like the five best episodes that the show has to offer. And of those five, this one is kind of my favorite. Uh, so, so yeah. But before I get into why it's my favorite, let's talk about what the episode is about, what the movie is about. Um, so Vlad Plasmius manages to get the infomap from Frostbite, and he has a satellite over by Saturn, and that's studying this massive asteroid that is made out of ectoranium, which is harmful to ghosts. And he doesn't know it's made out of ectoranium at first. He doesn't know that. Danny, Sam, and Tucker show up, and they show up, and they manage to beat, and Danny manages to beat him, and then they fly through. They get the infomap, and they fly through a ghost portal in order to get back to Earth. And on the way out, Vlad's firing plasma lasers at them, and ends up hitting his own ship, and it's about to explode. So he has to get in. Get into his. So he has to get into his escape pod and leave. And the satellite explodes, and it knocks the asteroid out of orbit of Saturn, and it's now on a collision course with Earth. And it is so massive. This asteroid is so massive that it will absolutely destroy Earth when it hits. And so once they're back, um, once they're back, um, uh, Danny starts to fight Technus, and Sam and Tucker are about to get hit when suddenly new ghost fighters show up, Masters Blasters, and they were hired by Vlad in order to clean up Amity Park and rid all ghosts from Amity Park. And Sam and Tucker are like, hey, Danny, you just need to fight ghosts like crazy, so there's no ghosts for them to fight. And we see a little montage of Danny getting beat by a few ghosts, and this leads to one of the issues that a lot of people seem to have with this, is that Danny gets his butt handed to him by 3 separate ghosts, and Master's Blasters suddenly come in and manage to easily defeat the ghosts. And these are ghosts that Danny has defeated. Now, keep in mind, and now let's look at what the ghosts are. There's Undergrowth, which, yes, technically he has beaten. He did technically beat Undergrowth. However, I should preface this that Danny was only able to beat Undergrowth. Was only able to beat Undergrowth with the use of his new ice powers. His fight against Undergrowth, he shows up and then Undergrowth lands a hit on him that rips his ghost costume apart. And then before he even has a chance to counter, Master's Blasters show up and take him down. Then look at the other one. Then let's look at the next one. Vortex. Danny never actually beat Vortex. I want to make that very clear. The only reason Danny was able to hold his own against... The only reason Danny was able to hold his own against Vortex in the episode Torrent of Terror was because he had some of Vortex's powers. That's the only thing that allowed him to hold his own against Vortex. And he used up so much of Vortex's power that once Vortex took it back, he couldn't actually use it. So he was weak enough to actually seal away. So Danny never actually beat Vortex. And then the next one is the Dragon Prince. And I want to make it very clear, Danny never beat the Dragon Prince. He fought him, but he lost. He lost to the Dragon Prince. And it was a mixture of the Dragon Princess and Sam that actually defeated the Dragon Prince. Danny never actually beat him. Danny lost that fight. So these are 3 powerful ghosts that Danny himself required outside help in order to beat. So it makes sense why these ghosts would be able to best him. It makes sense why these ghosts would be able to best Danny. So, and also keep in mind, each of these newspapers for Danny and Master's Blasters are all happening over the course of 3 weeks. We get 3 weeks, two newspapers each week, one slandering Danny and one hyping up Master's Blasters. So this is happening over the course of 3 weeks. He's getting his butt handed to him repeatedly over the course of 3 weeks, and Master's Blasters are repeatedly showing him up. Everyone is repeatedly saying how great Master's Blasters are, and how Danny Phantom is nothing, and Danny Phantom doesn't matter. That they don't need Danny Phantom anymore. So constantly hearing that from people, that starts to get to him. That starts to make him think, maybe I should just give up my powers. It seems like nobody needs me. And the final straw is when his parents get arrested because they're suspected of harboring a ghost. So, yeah, that's the straw that broke the camel's back for him. He finally decides, okay, you know what? Screw this. This is, it's not worth it. Keeping my powers is not worth it if this is how I'm going to be, if this is how things are going to be. If my parents are going to be arrested because of me, if my friends are going to be in danger because of me, if everyone in town tells me to just go away, why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I just give up my powers and be a normal kid? This town doesn't seem to need me anymore. They don't care if I'm gone. And by giving up my powers, I can protect my family and my friend. I can protect my family and my friends by giving up my powers because they won't be a target anymore. So, and this is all happening over the course of 3 different weeks. It's not just a single day and then he decides this. This is happening over the course of 3 weeks. So this is something he's dealing with for a while. So his decision makes sense. His decision does make sense. So he gives it up, and then they find out about the asteroid, which people call the Disasteroid, and Vlad funds a Vlad funds a mission to go into space and blow up the Disasteroid, but he purposefully punches in the wrong coordinates just because Jack is on the ship. Jack is on the ship, and he wants to make Jack look bad. And then he decides to reveal to the entire world that he is half ghost, and basically forces the people of the world to submit to him and be ruled by him, or be destroyed by the Disasteroid. And so the world submits, and they let themselves be they're willing to let themselves be ruled by Vlad if it means he can save them. And he plans to turn the asteroid intangible, so it'll pass harmlessly through Earth. But then he gets out to space and finds out, it's made out of ectoranium, which means he can never touch it, which means Earth really is doomed. And so he basically just floats off. He just floats off into space because he knows that he can never go back to Earth because he will be forever hunted no matter where he is on Earth or in the Ghost Zone. He will be forever hunted. So he has no choice but to just leave. So he does, and then Danny comes up with an idea to turn the Earth intangible using every ghost in the Ghost Zone. They head over to the Ghost Zone to try to get the help of some ghosts, and they end up getting captured by Skulker, and Danny has Sam Tucker and Jazz all get into the escape pod, and he stays behind, and he tries to talk to Skulker, and a whole bunch of ghosts, hundreds of ghosts, all shoot ecto beams at him that blow up the little speeder that they've been using throughout the whole show to travel through the Ghost Zone. They blow it up, and they infuse Danny with enough ghost energy that he gets his powers back. And it's different this time though, because previously the ghost powers basically the ghost DNA attached itself to Danny's DNA. It attached itself to it, and he detached it earlier in the movie. So now, instead of getting ghost energy attached to his DNA is now getting infused with ghost energy. So he's even more powerful now than he was before. Because now, instead of borrowing all those powers, they're a part of him. They are now officially a part of him. So he's even more powerful than he was before now. And so then they end up leaving. And he travels through. He calls a press conference to talk to the entire world, and he tells everyone his plan to turn the Earth intangible, and to build a device that can store ghostly energy, and have a whole bunch of special tubes basically wrap around the globe. That all the energy will travel through, and it will turn the entire Earth intangible. And so everyone works together. The world comes together for this one plan. The world is united in this last desperate attempt to save themselves. And it is very beautiful. It's very beautiful how, like, you know, the whole world comes together for this, and it's fantastic. It's great. And given how many times Danny has saved not just Amity Park but the world at large, they trust him. They know that he has their best interest at heart. And so everyone works together in order to get it ready, and then Danny's about to head off to go collect all the ghosts necessary, and he has him and Sam have a little conversation about how after things are done they want to talk. That they got stuff to talk about, and then they kiss. They finally do it. They finally kiss, and it's such a great moment. It's so good because, like, you know, as a fan, I was waiting the whole series ever since the first Ember episode. I've been waiting for this moment. So to see it finally happen, I was so happy. I was so giddy. I was just freaking out when I first saw it. So Danny goes into the ghost zone. He collects all the ghosts, gathers them all up, and then all of them except for Skulker, who manages to free everyone. And then he talks to all of them about how even if they don't give a crap about saving Earth, he figures they might want to save their own world. And they agree. They agree, and they all come out, and save. They all come out in order to save both worlds, and they make the Earth intangible just in time, just as the asteroid is getting ready to hit. And then it goes all the way. It goes all the way through. And right after getting out of the atmosphere, so it's just hurling through space. So it's just hurling through space. They make the Earth tangible again, and the ghosts all leave. Skulker has newfound respect for Danny, and then Jack and Maddie show up, and reveal that they know that Jazz told them, and Danny decides the time for secrets is over. It's time to embrace change, and he reveals his secret identity. He reveals his secret identity to the world, and then Tucker becomes the new mayor of Amity Park, the youngest mayor ever elected in Amity Park history, and Sam and Danny officially get together as a couple, and Danny gives her the ring that he was planning on giving Valerie. He gives it to Sam, and the two of them kiss, and they fly off into the sunset, and that ends the show. I love this. I love that we've dealt with threats that have threatened the world before. Undergrowth, Vortex, and Technus, his final episode, and we've dealt with and Freak Show. We've dealt with like world level threats before in this show. But this was the first time we got to see everyone actually coming together for one cause. We got to see everyone coming together to save the entire world, not just humanity but ghosts as well, and they all have this deep respect for Danny Phantom. They have this deep respect for Danny Phantom, and they appreciate everything he's done for them. They trust him immediately because they know that he has their best interests at heart. And we finally got to see Danny and Sam get together. We got to see the two of them hook up. We got to see Jack and Maddie finally learn the truth about their son and fully accept him. And Tucker finally got a W. Like throughout the whole show, Tucker has been taking nothing but L's throughout the show. It's very rare for him to come out on top. In any episode, he usually takes a lot of L's. But he finally got a W. He became the mayor of Amity Park. And it was so good to see a lot of these characters appear in the background again, and just to see a lot of them one more time. And I liked how they handled the whole Vlad situation. A lot of people like to say that they were expecting Danny and Vlad to have one final fight. But here's the thing: keep in mind that Danny and Vlad themselves have not fought since the season 3 premiere. They fought in the season 3 premiere. And Danny won, and Danny did win that fight, but it was not a fair fight because Vlad was purposefully making himself weaker. So we never got to see back then how strong Danny is compared to Vlad at this point. But here's the thing: Vlad can't stand up to the ghostly whale, and he can't stand up to the ice powers that Danny has. And in the 3rd season, Danny masters his ability of duplication. He finally manages to master that. Duplication is something he's been struggling with throughout the whole series, and he finally manages to master that here in this 3rd season. And the reason why we never really got to see Danny versus Vlad is because this is what the outcome would have been. Here in Phantom Planet, Danny manages to easily beat Vlad at the beginning. And that's exactly how the fight would go. Because Danny has gotten that powerful. Danny has just become that powerful that Vlad, who was considered his biggest threat for the longest time, is no longer a threat. Danny is so powerful now that Vlad is no longer an issue for him. He's able to easily beat Vlad now, and that's why it took us so long to actually see a real fight between the two of them. Because Danny had already become so powerful that the fight wouldn't last long. So they kept coming up with ways to not have Danny and Vlad fight. In Destabilization, he didn't fight Vlad, Danielle fought Vlad. And that's because they didn't want to reveal just how powerful Danny had become compared to Vlad at that point. He had become so powerful that Vlad can't beat him anymore. And I already talked about like why it makes sense for him to want to give up his powers, and why it makes sense how he got his powers back. I really do believe that this is a fantastic way to end the show. Now, are there still things that the show that I wish the show had done? Yes, absolutely. Like I wish we had gotten to see a bit more of Danielle, a bit more of Valerie. I wish we had gotten to see Freak Show one more time, because he's my favorite villain. He's my favorite villain in the show. I wish we had gotten to see him one more time. We only got to see him twice. So I wish we could have seen him one more time. And then I also wish we could have seen Evil Danny one more time. Because the Ultimate Enemy, the way it ends, it hints that Evil Danny will be back, but we never got to see it. We never got to see that. So yeah, there are things that I wish the show had done, and the show would have done it if they had been allowed a fourth season. Because Butch Hartman has said multiple times that the show was originally supposed to have 4 seasons. And so everything people wish they could have seen was supposed to be shown in that 4th season. But Nickelodeon canceled it. So we never got that final season. So, but I do love this finale. I think this is a fantastic finale. And it doesn't matter how many people say it's bad. That's their opinion, and in my opinion, it's a fantastic finale. And I don't care who you are. My mind's not going to change. A lot of people have tried to change my mind about the finale, and basically every single point they make, I counter it by saying why I like that. So, no matter every negative they point out, I turn it into a positive. So, many people have tried to convert me and make me think that it's bad, but that it's just not going to happen. I love the finale, and I will always love the finale. So, yeah. For the grade, since this is my favorite anything from Danny Phantom we've gotten, it doesn't get an A+. It gets an S. It gets an S grade. It gets an S grade. The one and only S grade I am giving out, and it's for Phantom Planet. I remember I gave Urban Jungle and Reality Check and Ultimate Enemy and Rainstorm. I gave them all A+. This is an S. This is the one and only S in the show. So, yeah. That's all I got for this video. So, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. There's still going to be... I still have more videos to put up. I still have more videos to put up. This is not the end of the vlog series. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be more after this. I got a few more things I want to talk about. So, hope you'll all continue to stick around. So, in any case, thank you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.